Brandon, how you doing?
Doing good, Mark.
Good. Glad you can come to my office today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you reaching out to me. You saw me in the hallway and you mentioned that you had some issues dealing with conflict.
Yes.
So I'm glad you can come so we can discuss it and hopefully get a resolution to the issue.
Sounds good.
Okay. So first things first, what's the issue as far as dealing with conflict? What issues are you having?
Sure. Well, specifically, the issue is with one team member. So on our team, we've got six team members, including myself, and we all get along very well. And really, even this other member we've gotten along well with him up until recently, where we had a team assignment where we had to give a presentation that we all kind of had to, at the last minute, pull together, and we needed to rehearse at lunchtime during school on a Saturday, and he ditched out at lunchtime and left, and so that frustrated me, which built on the frustration of some other team members of mine who I guess had already a little bit of pent up angst from some of the other stuff that's happened with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was mainly that one event, and now it's just kind of spiraled into. We tried to give him feedback in one of our group meetings, and he took it completely the wrong way, and now it's just turned into a situation of conflict where he feels, I guess, from his emails and his reaction to the other team members, he feels like we're colluding against him, we're teaming up against him, and so it's just turned into a situation where the team's time is being spent more dealing with that than working on assignments, and so I'd really like to figure out how to resolve the conflict so we can get back to being a productive team.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing is that conflict stemming from one person on the team, and it's kind of messing with the team chemistry.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Did the conflict originate with the whole team as a whole, or was it more so another person started the conflict and then it expanded from there?
I would say it's always kind of been centered on one particular team member, but there's definitely a clash between him and one other guy in the group, who their leadership styles or clash in a way, or at least the one guy feels that they clash and feels that the other guy is trying to be bossy and not letting the other team members have their input, even though none of the rest of the group feels that way. They all feel more that the other guy's not really pulling his weight, so to speak.
Okay. So maybe originated with two people, but now it's expanding to the entire team.
Right.
Okay, got it. Let me ask you, as a team, have you guys come up with any particular platform or anything that you guys do in times of conflict?
We built into the teaming agreement at the beginning of the program how to handle conflict in a way, and so in our group meeting this Saturday, we're going to implement that teaming agreement. And what we said was, in cases of conflict, we would our first kind of avenue in where it can't be resolved amongst the team, just the members of the team, would be to go to our teaming coach. So we're going to involve him on Saturday to get just so that he's kind of becomes that, or hopefully can be that third party mediator who's neutral to the situation, or who doesn't really have isn't going to take one side or the other, I guess.
Right. So the team and coach will listen to the problem and hopefully assist you guys. Was there anything else other than just the coach? I guess I'm trying to ask, is there anything in there where you guys as a team together can fix conflict before getting to the coach?
We addressed conflict in the teaming agreement, but I think we'll have to go back and revisit it to really to kind of handle situations like this, because
Okay.
I think when we originally created the teaming agreement, I know we have a section in there on it, and at one level, it does involve the teaming coach, and then if you can't resolve it that way, it'll go even to the KSU faculty.
Right.
But because at first this wasn't an issue, I guess it was harder to think of exactly how to write that section so that it would be something that could be easily put into practice. And I don't know if we could foresee at that point the type of challenge that this conflict's been, because we've tried to, in a way, we did build into our teaming agreement that we would provide feedback to each
Right.
other.
Okay.
And so we tried to do that with this individual, and he took it the wrong way, and so that's why we now have to go to the teaming coach. So
Okay.
I think maybe in terms of how we modify the teaming agreement, maybe we put in something more specific. But I think we did we tried to follow the feedback approach, and I felt that when we approached him with the feedback that we did so in a way that wasn't trying to accuse him or make him get defensive, but he did take it defensively. So it was something that now we're just trying to figure out the best
option.
way. Yeah.
Okay. And that's perfect. I hear feedback. I hear reaching out to the coach. Before reaching out to the coach, seeing that the feedback might not have worked like you wanted it to,
Mm-hmm.
do you have yourself any other avenues that maybe you could present to your team that you guys can take to resolve the conflict before reaching out to the coach?
That's a great question. I've thought of that, and I've thought in my own mind, I guess, about going to the other team member who, it seems like it's definitely a clash of I think all. I don't want to say us versus him, but whatnot. But I think everybody's kind of frustrated with some of the behaviors that this guy's had, which have in class, some of the comments he's made and things like that. But in terms of where the root, I think, clash is between these two team members. So what I've thought of doing, because I think part of the reason why the guy took this one team member took the feedback defensively or whatnot was because he felt that we should have just gone to him up front, picked up the phone, said if you had a problem with it, then just reach out to me directly. And instead, he felt like we stored it all up and then just I guess unloaded on him all at once. And I think he kind of viewed, because the guy who gave the most direct feedback and who started the conversation was the same one he has this conflict with. I think he took that as this guy's the ringleader who's getting everybody ganging up everybody against me. That combined with the fact that we didn't say anything to him, or nobody picked up the phone and said anything to him prior to that session feedback.
Okay.
He was upset. So I guess what my idea was, or what I've kind of thought about doing, would be because this team member he wrote an email. Things got kind of heated last. We had class last week, and things got kind of heated, and we had a conversation with him as a team, after class on Sunday, talking about what his interaction with the team would be going forward, because he also told us over the weekend that he's planning on dropping the program, or possibly planning on dropping the program at the end of the semester, which of course didn't help the situation any. And I think that just frustrated the other team members even more. Okay. And it really got kind of heated between these two team members, the ones I've been referring to. And so the one who might be dropping the course, he sent an email to the team saying we should, agreeing we should involve the team coach and everything. And then also saying at the end, anybody can pick up the phone and call me directly. And so I guess my thought was possibly reaching out to the other guy and saying, even though I know you don't agree with him, and you don't, I'm sure it's just frustrating for you because you tried to give him constructive feedback and he just took it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe if you just had that phone conversation, you just picked it up and said, just tried to work it out, then that could have some positive effect on the situation. But I haven't actually done that yet. But that's one thing that's been going through my mind, I guess, about I don't want to tell him what he should or shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could help in a way.
Absolutely. I mean, especially as a team member.
Right.
And the whole point is you're trying to resolve the conflict.
Yeah.
How realistic do you think that would be for you to reach out to him and present that to him? Is that something that you think it would work?
I think he'd be open to hearing it from me, just because like he and I get along really well.
Okay.
And we're very close. I mean, I think one of the good things about I don't know if you'd say my personality type or just the way I am, is like I'm pretty like accommodating and patient as like a team member, and so I get along with everybody. I mean, I get along, even the one guy that we overall have conflict with, like he and I get along pretty well. It's just so I think my other team member, if I did call him, he'd be open to listening to me, but I don't know if it would necessarily how he would feel about doing that, because I kind of feel like he would think, well, I've already tried to give him feedback and he didn't take it, you know what I mean? So what's the point of like picking up the phone and trying to do it again when he's just probably gonna have the same reaction? You know what I mean? So I'm kind of thinking ahead there, and
right.
So, but I wonder, because of the email that the one guy sent, like if that would kind of help smooth things out a little bit.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, why haven't you done it already? But I think you just answered.
Yeah.
You're afraid of what may happen when you approach him.
It's not so much afraid of his reaction to me. It's just that like I thought of when I tell him that, like what might be his response in return.
Right.
And if he had that response, because it wouldn't be one of like anger or anything like.
Absolutely. Right.
It would just be like it's futile, and I really couldn't argue with him that it might be, because he's already tried to give him feedback and it didn't work, But maybe the fact that it's one-on-one versus like the guy feeling like the whole team kind of was holding like all these pent up like gripes against him and just unloaded it at one time. Like it could, him calling him, I don't know. I figure it could go one of two ways. It could help things, or it really could make it much worse. I don't think than what I mean, between the two. So maybe it is worth that call.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, do you think maybe being a mediator on that call would be suffice? Because like you said, you don't want a ticking time bomb going.
Right. Exactly. Right. That's where I don't know, because I feel like I don't know, I feel like the wording in the email was really directed directly to this one guy, like pick up the phone and call me, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't want like a mediator. And like I don't think it would do much good like if I tried to be the mediator between the two of them, I think it would only, and I don't even know if it would, honestly, if just two of them on the phone would work out, but like the way I see it is like at least it would be, even if the one guy continues to be the way he's been in terms of not accepting the feedback, like in as a constructive way to grow, but rather as like a personal attack. There's a very strong possibility he would, even with a one-on-one call, could still construe it that way. But at least the other team member would have the, I guess I don't know if you call it peace of mind, but at least know that he tried, he tried to resolve it. And, if you do that, then how can the other person really fault you because you've done, because that's a hard conversation,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
It's easy for me to call either one of them because I'm not really, I'm involved in the conflict as far as it is team, like how it impacts the team.
Mm-hmm.
But it really seems like, these two are definitely the two that like clash the most and just see things completely differently.
Yeah, the only reason I bring that up is because you mentioned you have a good rapport with both of them.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I was asking to see if maybe that might be an opportunity
Uh-huh.
to get them together.
Sure.
The other opportunity you talked about was the coaching,
Yeah.
which is great. Because at the end of the day, that's why you have a coach. You can reach out to him.
Right.
What's the timeline? I think you mentioned it earlier, but what's the timeline in regards to getting the coach involved in the situation?
There's not like it's basically like if we've tried to resolve it
Mm-hmm.
on our own, like through just feedback or whatnot. Like, I don't know if in the teaming agreement we have like a specific number of times we've tried. I think it's just at the agreement of the team, pretty much, which is how this worked too. Like it wasn't. I think everybody agreed that the coach needs to get involved, and that that's the best way to handle it at this point because it's more of like a disruption to. We're not even focusing on the assignments. We're focusing on this. This one team member's problem with the team, but specifically this other team member, I think. And
Have you guys reached out to the coach yet? Or?
Yeah, we have.
We have.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming Saturday.
Okay, so Saturday is the target date to have a meeting with everyone.
Yep, it'll be Saturday.
Good. Okay, good. So, you came up with some good options. The coaching option.
Yep.
As well as the option with you being a mediator.
Yep.
Could work. So, do you think if the coaching route does not work, how would you feel about actually trying to be that mediator and taking that second option?
I think I have to see like how the meeting goes first.
Right. Okay.
The outcome of this meeting and see like where we kind of are like collectively as a team.
Okay.
Based on that, I'm hoping that gets us to a point where we're, even if there's still some angst or some kind of tension between those two, that we can still function as a team. And honestly, yeah, I'll just have to look. I'll just have to wait and see because there's a chance that this one team member is still going to stay in the program, and it kind of so that changes how I view things a lot because all the things we're doing in the class build upon each other, especially in terms of leadership and teaming, so that it's hard to view the situation in the same light if you think the guy's going to be gone as of May 1st versus like, is he going to be here for a whole other year and part of the team,
Okay.
So
on a scale of 1 to 10, last question, how committed are you and your team to resolving the conflict with this team member?
Oh, I would say we're in terms of resolving it. I would say like an 8 probably for me. It's just, I guess, in terms of what that resolution looks like, I don't know, but I definitely want it to be resolved. It's just like I said, the resolution kind of depends on is he going to be part of the team going forward or not?
Okay,
you know what I mean?
And that meeting Saturday will
right,
have a lot to do. So
I'm definitely like wanting it to move past this and like get back to a productive team, which is what we were before we tried to give him this feedback.
Okay.
Like, I think everybody's at a 10 on that. Everybody really liked the way that the team's working together, and definitely wants to get past this. I think this is it. It's just something that saps the energy out of the team. Is this
right? Okay.
So everybody's motivated, and I would say everybody's at like a 10 and wanting to get past this because of that very reason is that just everybody has full-time jobs, they have families, and our time spent together need to be focused on synergy and working together as a team and getting our assignments done, and not on interpersonal conflict between team members.
I agree, Brandon. Well, I hope this was useful.
Absolutely, yeah.
I want to thank you again for coming to my office and meeting with me, but I would love to set up a follow-up meeting sometime next week just to see how this meeting this weekend goes.
Sure.
And good luck with solving the conflict.
Awesome.
I
Thank you, Mark.
Have a great day.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Too.